Hey you guys, it's Lauren. Welcome back. So today's video I was so excited about because it's going to be a huge drugstore makeup try-on with lots of first impressions, and I feel like it's been a while since I've done a drugstore exclusive video. I guess there really hasn't been any new things at the drugstore that got me really excited until recently. So I picked up a few things, two new things from CoverGirl. This CoverGirl palette looked absolutely gorgeous to me, and they had a new mascara, this Physicians Formula Spotlight Primer. Everybody's raving about this, so I wanted to give this a try. And then also the brand new NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer. I've heard so many great things about this as well, so yeah, I was excited to put this to the test. And also a lip product that didn't go so well. It actually was kind of a disaster, but you guys will see that in the end. I'm going to do a check-in so you guys can see how the makeup wore throughout the day. So lots of products to chat about, lots of new fun things, so we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to start off with primer first. I picked up the new Physicians Formula Spotlight Primer. I feel like over the last year, everybody has been raving about this, but this is an illuminating primer, and it says it has age-defying actives in here. Now, I checked out the ingredient list, and there's not like any like remarkable skin-changing things in here, but it does have sunflower oil and vitamin E, which both ingredients are really nourishing to the skin, and sunflower oil can actually be really reparative for the skin, so we'll see. This feels really good going on. And it's not super illuminating. I feel like when I first watched it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a little too glowy, but I don't know, it's not, wow, maybe it is. Check out that forehead glow. It is kind of super glowy. We will see how foundation looks over it. But I wanted to see if this compared to the Charlotte Tilbury, wait, what is it called? The Hollywood Flawless Filter. I just picked that up and I've been absolutely obsessed with this. So here, let me do a little comparative swatch here. Let's see. So the Spotlight Primer looks super glowy compared to the Charlotte Tilbury. The Charlotte Tilbury is a little bit more skin-like. But on the skin, I don't know, it's super glowy. Again, let's see how foundation looks over it. I don't know, I'm a little scared of like all this glow, but we will see. So for foundation, I picked up the Joah Truly Yours Natural Finish Foundation Drops. This has been getting rave reviews also. I feel like everybody's talking about this brand. This is a K-beauty inspired brand. It's described on the website as having a natural soft matte finish. I picked up the shade, what shade are you? Natural Ivory. Be aware, the shades online are super deceiving. They look so dark. I'll try and insert a picture of the shades because in person they look so much lighter than how they actually look online. So just keep that in mind, but I'm really liking the finish of this. I don't know if it's the primer underneath, but so far it's giving me a really nice natural finish. I don't really feel like it looks matte. So that is how it looks with one layer applied to the skin. I feel like the coverage is really good. I think on the website it said it was lightweight coverage, but I don't know. I would argue that this is medium to full. Let's see if this is buildable or not. So being that this was a K-beauty inspired brand, I was hopeful that it would have really good, you know, skin loving ingredients. There are some decent ingredients in here. It had jojoba oil in here and also vitamin E, but I was hoping to see a few more like skin benefiting ingredients, maybe like hyaluronic acid or I don't know, even some sunscreen, but there were still some decent ingredients in here. It had a ton of humectants and emollients, so it seems like it'll be really hydrating, especially if you have dry skin, so we will see. But okay, this is looking really good. I'm liking the finish of it. This looks like a pretty nice shade match for me, maybe a little bit on the light side, but yeah, I don't know, it looks pretty good and I love the feel of it. It just feels so lightweight. Okay, so this is setting really nicely. I don't even know if it needs setting powder. I think I will end up setting it, but I won't go in with setting powder just yet. I want to see how the concealer looks first. So I have the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer. This is supposed to be a compliment to their Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation that everybody has always raved about. I never tried that, I guess because I think it has a matte finish and people with drier skin were saying that it can accentuate texture, so I was always hesitant with that. Oh my gosh, this packaging, I can knock it off. So I picked up the shade Vanilla. There weren't too many shade options available on the Ulta website. A lot of them are already sold out, so I'm hoping this will be a decent shade match. It looks like it's going to be a little light for me, but we'll see. So I'll just go in the inner corner. I don't really like to overdo it with concealer. I feel like especially with my dry skin, it can really accentuate texture really quickly if I apply a million layers and just go crazy with concealer. So I don't like to apply too much. I'm just going to do a little thin layer. Just a little bit down the nose. It feels lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy or anything. Let's see how it blends out. It blends out really nicely. It's really like creamy and smooth. It's not like sticky or tacky at all. Now this side of my face is always the true test when it comes to concealers, because if it covers that sunspot nicely, I am a happy girl. A lot of concealers can really accentuate the texture on that sunspot, and wow, that spot is completely covered. So the coverage on this is amazing, really great. Now I'm already starting to see it's starting to break up on the inner corners of my eye. Yeah, it's definitely like creasing and accentuating lines. We'll see if setting powder helps out with that, but so far I'm loving the coverage. I'm gonna go in with my Glossier Powder. I love this powder. I swear it can make any foundation or concealer look good. So if this concealer doesn't work with this powder, then yeah, it might not be a winner for me. We will see. I'm just using this e.l.f. small tapered brush. I love this brush for setting concealer. It's just so good. Okay, so this powder really did help to smooth everything out. I love the coverage of this concealer, but I'm not a fan of how it breaks up on the inner corners. Next time I'll just make sure I'm super hydrated. I definitely moisturized this morning and I used that primer. So yeah, I wouldn't expect concealer to break up how it did, but I'll keep you guys posted. I'll definitely do a wear test today and I'll insert a little clip at the end of the video to let you guys know how it wears. But I like the coverage. Maybe I'll just use it as a spot coverage concealer, but for the inner corners of my eyes, I don't know, might be a little too drying for me. Okay, let's bronze up the face a little bit. This isn't new for me, but this is the Milani Dolce Baked Bronzer. I love this bronzer, especially in the winter. So when I don't have much of a tan, it's just like the perfect shade for me. I just love it. And it gives a slight glow to the skin. It doesn't have any glitter or anything. It's just like a pretty slight glow, and it just is a really natural looking bronzer. So I'm definitely a fan of this. One of my favorite drugstore bronzers for sure. If you guys can believe it, I have yet to try the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I know, what am I doing with my life? Crazy. I need to really try that because everybody's raving about that. But this I just love so much. I don't know. I feel like I don't really need anything else. This just does a job. It's not too dark, it's not too light. Okay, and then I'll go in with blush. Another thing I didn't pick up new from the drugstore, but this Flower Beauty blush is one of my favorites. This is in the shade Warm Hibiscus. It's such a pretty like peachy pink, and it has a really subtle glow to it. It's just so pretty, and one of my favorites. It just gives like just enough pigment to your cheeks, not too much. I don't like when a blush is too pigmented because then you can't really control the color, but this just is like super subtle. I don't know if you can tell, but there's kind of like a gold sheen to it. It just looks so pretty on the skin, especially in the summer when my skin's nice and tan. It looks gorgeous. Okay, so let's move on to the eyes next. I'm going to prime my eyes with the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is a concealer that I love as an eye primer. It's way too drying underneath my eyes as an under eye concealer, but for an eye primer, it works great. So I picked up this CoverGirl palette. I just thought it looked so pretty. This is their Chocoholic palette. I thought it was nice for every day, and it also had some pretty shimmers in here. This one rose gold right here looked absolutely gorgeous, so I definitely want to try that on my lid. I'm sure you guys have heard, but CoverGirl went cruelty free, so I wanted to support them and pick up a few things from their line. I haven't used CoverGirl in the longest time, but I was always a big fan of their mascaras. And also, of course, their foundations. I don't know if you guys remember those compacts. They were black foundation compacts and it had like the little white sponge in them. I feel like everybody in my high school carried that around. So I'm just using this light shade here just to even out the lid. It went on nice and smooth. And then I'm going to go in with this lighter like neutral brown as a transition shade. Okay, they're definitely very dusty, but that doesn't mean they won't go on smoothly. And I'm using the JH30 brush, the Morphe brush from her collection. I really like these brushes. Okay, then on the outer corner, I'm going to go in with this chocolate shade over here. Then I'm just bringing it down to the outer corner. Wow, these are really smooth. There might be a little patchiness maybe on the outer corner, but I feel like they blended together really nicely, so I'm really happy with that shade. I just wanted to find that outer edge a little bit better. I'm going to go in with this deepest chocolate brown shade right in the middle here. I'm using this Sigma E34 brush. I love using this brush in the outer V. It's great for like more detailed work, and it's also great on the lower lash line as well. And then I just went back into that lighter brown shade, and I'm just blending these two, the dark brown and the light brown together, just to give it more of like a gradient. Pretty good. I'm going to go in with a shimmer, and I'm going to go back to my ColourPop No Filter Concealer, and I'm going to cut the crease just slightly. I've been doing this a lot more. I just feel like it makes such more of an impact with shimmers on my lid, and then also with me having more of a hooded eye. I felt like I was getting a lot of shimmer transferred on the upper part of my lid, and this just helps with like keeping everything uniform. And then I like to go back in with an eyeshadow brush just to blend the shadow into the concealer just to make it a little bit more natural looking. I was always so intimidated by this trick, but it's really not as hard as I thought it would be. The trick with it is just to use your own eye as a guide, really. Wherever your shimmer is transferring, use that to where your concealer ends, and then it'll look nice and natural on your specific eye shape. And before I get any more fallout on the bottom of my eye, I'm going to go in with my Glossier powder again, just to clean everything up down here. This is another brush I've been using nonstop. This is one of the Sigma 3-dimensional brushes. This is the 4D HD Kabuki. This is great for smoothing out under eye concealer or for applying setting powder underneath the eye. And I love the tip it has on the top because you can kind of like cut the edge of your eyeshadow and just smooth everything out and make everything look a little bit more precise. And then I'm going to use that rose gold shimmer. This looks so pretty. Oh, it doesn't have too much fallout. You see it's like a little flaky, but not terrible. I'm just going to pack that on there. Wow, this is so pretty. This is going on really nicely. Usually with glitters or shimmers, I usually have to wet my brush with my Smashbox primer, but this is going on really nicely and I love the color. It actually has a really similar look to this Stila glitter shadows. So pretty, I love that. This palette doesn't really have a champagne like inner corner highlight, so I'm gonna use this Ofra highlight. What shade are you? This is the shade Blissful. This is more of like a rose gold highlight. I think it'd be really pretty with the purples on the lid. I love that eye look, it's so pretty. I'm just going to highlight the brow bone with the lightest shade in the palette. This shade is really intense for being like a nude beige shade. It actually shows up on my light skin. And then I'm just going to line my upper lid with the Makeup Revolution Fast Flick eyeliner. This is a felt tip eyeliner. I love this. It lasts really long and it's just really, I can't really talk and do this, but it's just really easy to apply. It goes on super smooth and it's really intensely pigmented. Okay, my bare brows are driving me nuts, so we'll go in with the brows and then we'll do mascara next. I've been loving this brow pencil by e.l.f. This is their Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. They had one that was really popular for a while, but that one was super thick and I love the formula of that pencil, but it was just way too thick and it just made it really difficult to get like a nice natural brow look. And this color is like spot on for me. This is the shade Neutral Brown. It's a nice cool tone shade. This might be a new replacement for my Brow Wiz. I don't know, I'm starting to give up on that pencil. I love the formula of that pencil, but it just drives me nuts that it breaks all the time. The lasting power is great too. My brows really stay put all day, so I've been loving that pencil. Great buy from the drugstore. And then for mascara, so I picked up this CoverGirl mascara. I used to love the original Supersizer mascara, so the fact that this curled your lashes as well, I was like really intrigued. So let's see how this brush is. Oh my gosh, holy crap, look at this brush. Oh my gosh, it's huge. I love the curved aspect of it. Sometimes the huge brush heads scare me, but we will see. Wow, okay, so if you like a thickening mascara, this is great. I feel like my lashes look super thick right now, but it looks really pretty. You definitely get that like false lash effect. I wish I got more length and separation from it, but if you're into thickening mascaras, I feel like you would really like this. My lashes look super thick. So now I just want to line the lower lash line. I'm going to do the inner rim. I love this number 7 Stay Perfect eyeliner. It's super pigmented and soft and it really stays put on the waterline. It's almost comparable to the Urban Decay 24/7 liners. Look how black that is. Love this liner. It's so good. I want to just soften up the eye look a little bit. I'm going to go back into the CoverGirl palette, into this neutral brown shade right here. I'm actually going to use the applicator that it came with. I like that it has this like nice pointy tip to it. Okay, this is not really doing what I want it to do. It's kind of just dragging the color. Let me use this Morphe brush. This is the Jaclyn Hill JH40 brush. This is great because it has a really like pointy tip to it. Okay, so now for lips. So I picked up the brand new Physicians Formula, I'm totally gonna butcher this name, Murumu Butter. This is like a lip stain or like a tinted lip balm. This has SPF of 15 in it. These had some gorgeous shades. It was so hard for me to pick out a color. There was a really pretty nude too. But this is so smooth. The color's so pretty. How pretty is that shine? I'm obsessed with these. They're absolutely gorgeous. They feel so good on the lips. They glide on so nicely. And I just love the color, how you can really build it up. So yeah, really excited about all these products, and we'll go to the check-in. Okay guys, so it's like 8:30 at night. For the most part, I feel like the makeup held up really well, except this lip situation is so bad. Like, check out the inner portion of my lips. The pigment collected all in like the inner rim, and it just looks like I just downed a whole bottle of wine. I swear I didn't. It just, yeah, maybe it's the color of the lipstick. Maybe I do have to try the nude shade. But yeah, I just don't like how this like wore throughout the day. My lips actually feel hydrated, but I'm just not a fan of how the pigment wore throughout the day. The eyeshadow still looks amazing. For a drugstore palette, I felt like the shadows blended out really well, and I'm super happy with the look I got. And yeah, I love that CoverGirl palette. The foundation, gorgeous. I think this is going to be a new favorite of mine. It wore really well throughout the day. It faded slightly, but I still feel like the coverage held up really well. On my forehead, it looks a little patchy, but my face still looks really smooth. It didn't break up in any areas. And yeah, I just love the finish of it. It's just like a nice natural skin-like finish. So definitely a fan of the foundation. And I don't have any smudging from the mascara, so that wore really well. Overall, I'm really happy with everything. It's just, yeah, this lip situation is not so good. And then the concealer, I just wish it was a little bit more hydrating and wish it was a little bit smoother under the eyes, but I love the coverage of it. So yeah, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you want to see more first impressions from me. I know some people love first impressions, some people hate them. I do feel like these check-ins definitely help though, because otherwise you saw my first reaction. I love this lip product at first, but as it wore throughout the day, yeah, just, oh god, it just looks horrible right now. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you guys.